Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today is probably going to be a long one. I am setting up my first ever bullet journal with you guys. I have done bullet journaling spreads in the past in regular planners, but I have never fully committed to a bullet journal. This year I keep lusting over these pictures of these really satisfying bullet journal spreads online, and I said, you know what? Why the heck not? Let's give it a shot. So here we are. I am going to try my best to explain my process to you. I'm really excited to see how this journal is going to fill up at the end of the year. You know how they get all like fat and the papers get a little crinkly. I don't know why, but I think that is super satisfying. I am also still on the market for a name for my bullet journal because I hear that that's a thing that people do here. So let me know if you have any suggestions or if you name yours, and if you did, what did you name it? All right, I won't talk too long because I'm sure this is going to take a while. So let's get started. Ain't she a beaut? All right, I am getting started here with a cover page. Now, I have to say, I do tweak this cover page a little bit after I'm done filming. You'll see it at the end in the final flip through. I am going to be using these two things a lot in this video. So lots of craft paper and some pretty floral stickers from the Mega Flower Sticker Book. If you can't find this, because I think it's sold out right now, you can use the vintage floral sticker book. They are very much the same. They don't have the exact same stickers, but same style, same flowers, same colors. So if you don't have this or you can't get your hands on it, you can always use that. So I started out with this big old hunk of craft paper. It's a little too big. That's part of what I fix after I'm done filming. I know you saw that wax paper there. That's just a handy way to lay down stickers or washi tape before you actually put them on paper. Washi tape's not too hard to pull back up if you don't like where you put it, but stickers can be tricky. So sometimes I use that just to get an idea of how it's going to look before I commit it to paper. And I love that sticker that I'm trying to put down right now. So I tried to find a million different places to put it and have it kind of mirror that circular shape. It does not end up looking good. But like I've said several times, I will fix that before the final flip through at the end. This next page. Ooh, lordy, it took a minute. I saw Amanda Rach Lee's setup. She did this style, so not the same color or theme or anything, but she did the tabbed year at a glance. I think most people call this the looking forward. I called it looking ahead, or year at a glance. Yeah, that's what they. Anyway, sorry, I'm rambling. She made it like this, and I thought it was really cool. It was a nice use of space, so I decided to do the same thing. So what I have done is drawn out enough space for all 12 months of the year, even though I'll probably only be in this journal for 6 months, but we'll see. Sometimes you just have events that happen so far in advance, or that you schedule really far in advance, and so I wanted to have that option. I have split all 12 months into these tabs, and I will put all of my looking ahead calendars here. I didn't show all of the slicing and dicing because it took a while, but you notice I put a really thick cardstock underneath because when I was using that X-Acto knife, I didn't want to cut any pages unintentionally. Still managed to do it on the last page, so towards the end I'll put some washi down at the bottom to kind of hold the page together so I don't ruin the layout. Now, the reason this took a while, the cutting really wasn't that difficult, but I am particular. So I went through and outlined all the pages too, just so that they stood out on the overall layout. I think it looks really nice. It just took a while. And I'm kind of a perfectionist, so that's probably another reason. The third reason that this took a while is because I'm using these Acrylograph paint markers, and I went a little thick on some of them, so they took a while to dry. So I kept having to put down the paint and then taking a minute for it to dry and then put down more paint. Now this pink, prettiest darn color I ever did see. I love that color. I'm not a pink person, but I love that color. However, that marker gave me a little trouble. It actually gave me a lot of trouble. The other ones were not like that. It was just this color. I don't know if I got a dud in that pretty little pink, but it was liquidy. I shook it and shook it and shook it, and then I got bubbles, and it created this really weird texture on the paper, but it still looks good. It was just really hard to work with. This pretty maroon was not so difficult, and then the navy that I also used on the bottom was not so difficult. Also, sorry about these shadows. I've got to use the natural light that I have, but that means that there's shadows. Now, never in my life, and I mean this, have I found a color combination that I love quite this much. You'll see here, just like, look how pretty those look together. They're perfect. I also went in and colored the back of the tabs, but I didn't think you needed to see that. And then I'm trying to make circles here and I accidentally put way too much paint. So again, I had to wait forever for that to dry before I could write on top of it or flip the page. But you know what? It's worth it. I would do it again. It's really pretty. I also like that because I'm using these acrylographs, I can use the white paint marker on top of them to put which month it is. I also got to break out my stamps for the first time. Woohoo! Got those for really cheap on Amazon. I have to bring in the craft paper and the washi tape to tie all the spreads together. So they're not all the same colors. Like this one is this really, really pretty maroon and pink and blue. The last one had a little more red and warm tones in it, but they still tie together because I have that washi tape and the craft paper and it's still floral design, so it works. Those flowers are so dang pretty too. I wish I had more of those stickers. This is what I was talking about. I had to fix where I accidentally sliced into that page because I didn't want it to constantly be open and then risk me tearing it further. So I put some washi tape down there and made it look like I did it on purpose. Even though that'll be our little secret that I definitely did not do that on purpose. I also got a label maker right after I finished filming this. I was hoping it would be here before I filmed it. It wasn't, but I did add some of those Dymo labels to it. Like I said, you'll see it in the flip through. I also add 2021 over there on the right side. It's awkward and blank right now. I don't know why I didn't think to do this when I was writing it. There we go. You'll see some little things popping up like that, and that's okay. Now, usually when I'm watching these bullet journal flip throughs, because I watch a lot of them. I love it. It's just so soothing to me. Anyway, usually when I watch them, when they put down the craft paper, it just looks so effortless. But I tell you, there's a lot more work going into this than you realize to get it to look so effortless and perfect, but messy and neat at the same time. Thankfully, with that tape roller, I can just peel it up and stick it again. The thing that's also cool about those acrylograph markers is how well they show up on that craft paper. And they would show up well on black paper if I had any. Or if I had incorporated any. So I'm setting up my goals here. I am going to separate them into categories like things I want to do, things I want to accomplish, and then some financial goals. So I made a section with those little stickers for each one. Then I just have a quote page. Let's do what we love and do a lot of it. One thing that being, in quarantine taught me was that slowing down is nice. It showed me just how much time I spend working or planning or grading, and I did not take enough time for myself. Now that I am back at work and school, I'm really missing that time for myself. So one of my major focuses for this year is going to just continue to do what I love. Play on my planner, read books, take my dogs for walks. That's going to be my priority. I am making myself a priority this year. So you see me there with a tape roller. That little thing comes in so stinking handy. It makes putting down this craft paper so easy. I'm pulling in some more stickers. So I kind of did warm on the left and a little bit more cool on the right, but somehow it just works. I love that yellow too. I don't use it too much in the spread because it wasn't one of my main colors, but darn it if that isn't the prettiest mustard yellow I've ever seen. And I'm going to outline it in that pretty navy blue, and those two colors together are just chef's kiss. Would you believe me if I said this was my first bullet journal? I have been staring at them forever, and I do bullet journal layouts in my regular planners, but I've never actually committed. And there's just something about making a planner exactly how you want it and what you want that is really satisfying. And I can't wait to use this. Like, I want an excuse to use this every single day because it just turns out so well. So I made an oopsie. I use that white pen a lot to fix those oopsies. I'll also go through before the final flip through and erase all these pencil marks. Now I'm keeping it simple for the year-end photos, or half a year-end photos, because like I said, I'll probably fill this up in 6 months. So I'm using the craft paper. I made it a little bit bigger than a Polaroid so that it would serve as like a backing for the picture. And then I put a little bit of floral and washi tape at the bottom, but I wanted to keep it simple because the photos themselves will be the focus of the spread as I fill them in. And they'll also add a lot of color and interest, so I didn't want to overwhelm it. So it looks a little plain now, but it'll look better once it's filled in. And I actually remembered to put 2021 on one of these pages. God, it feels good to write that number. Get rid of this 2020 jazz. Can't wait. Bringing back the acrylographs, just right in the months. I got a little thick here because I bought a lot of the 3mm acrylographs, and they're actually thicker than the 7s, so it's kind of the opposite of regular pens. So I'll go in with a white acrylograph and kind of fix the letters so they actually have gaps where they're supposed to. Washi tape is also a little difficult to make look effortless, like you see all the time. All right, this one on the left, I'm going to have my grid spacing. I'm leaving it blank for now because, like I said, this is my first bullet journal, my actual first bullet journal. And I wasn't sure what kind of grids I would want, like the kind of spacing I would use the most often. So I'm leaving it blank for now. I'll fill it in as I get more familiar with what I want. I do go ahead and number the spaces, though, before the final flip through. Then over here is a handy dandy when did I last. I'm so stinking excited to have this. I'm always wondering, when did I last switch out my contacts? When did I last switch out the water filter? Now, bill tracker is something that I've always put in my planners, even before I did bullet journaling. I write the bills on the left and how much they are. And on the right, I put the date that I paid them. It just helps me keep track. A lot of them come out automatically, and it's just nice to have a reminder for what day specifically they'll come out. And then in my disc-bound planner, I would usually just insert some paper and keep a running balance. Since I can't really do that with a bullet journal, I would literally fill up the whole journal before the year was over. I am going to put some paper down with washi tape, and then I can just remove that paper when it's full and put in a new one so I can still do my running balance in the bullet journal. I was showing you earlier, I got paint all over my hands. Is bullet journaling messy for anyone else? I always find them covered in paint or stickers or pen or usually all of the above by the time I'm done. I love this blue and yellow color combination, by the way. It's not just because I'm a mountaineer. Also, I'm sorry for that big old honkin' Band-Aid. I was making some Christmas presents with a heat press, and I was frustrated. It was late. I should not have put it off, and I did. So I ended up getting a blister, and I didn't want you to have to stare at the angry red blister, so I put on a giant Band-Aid to distract you this whole time. Over on the left, this is a new one, savings tracker. I have some money goals. When we are able to again, I would love to go travel, see some new places, even if it's just in the States. There's some really cool places here that I want to go to, but I can't do that without the funds. So I put a savings tracker. I really wish I would have chosen a different colored mile liner, but there's no going back now. I'm not a huge fan. I like the writing at the top the way it is, but I'll go through and add little shadows with a black pen, and I really wish I hadn't done that, but what are you going to do, right? They can't all be perfect spreads. So I'm just going to track what my savings is when I start this year, and then I will track what my savings is when I end this year. I'm going to be a little lazy with the ruler here and do 2 rows at a time once I get towards the top where there are 2 rows. But I also am going to cut that out because I know this video is long and you don't need to see me drawing so many lines. I didn't want to close in the boxes. I just like the look of the frame and the top and the bottom and not actual squares. Most of these layouts have been pretty free-flowing with the rounded flowers and the swirly writing. Over on the right, I have a gift ideas. I know it's kind of funny that I put my savings tracker right next to gift ideas, but it is what it is. So what I have done, I have sections for each people. each people, oh my goodness, I have sections for each person, and I will fill in who it belongs to as I get an idea for that person. And I don't know how many times throughout the year I think, oh, that would make an excellent gift for so-and-so, and then when it comes time to actually buy them a gift, I have no recollection whatsoever of what I was going to buy them. So this will help. You can also put yourself in one of these boxes, and when you achieve one of your goals or something, look back at this list and say, hey, I really wanted to buy this. I didn't. Now's my chance. All right, now we are on to the book log and the screen log. I'm keeping these super simple. I just want a place to track what I am reading and watching this year. So on the left, I have written book log. On the right, I'm writing screen log. For the books, I will write down the title, when I start them, when I finish them, and just a little rating for what I thought of them, like 4 out of 5 stars, 2 out of 5 stars, whatever it is I'm feeling. Screen log is a little different. I'm just putting the title of the show, if it's a show, how many seasons, and then the same thing, rating what I thought of it. If I can ever get myself to stop watching Schitt's Creek, maybe I can fill in that screen log. I don't want to say how many times I have watched that show at this point. There we go. I was a little ambitious with how much I could fit in that tiny little box, so I had to use that white pen again to white it out. I'll probably have to go in and do a second layer of the white once the ink dries, and then I can actually put start. And I gotta add the grid tape and the craft paper and the florals just to make sure that all these pages match the rest of my setup. There you go again, trying to make that craft paper look effortless when it is definitely not. I did a little bit of the warm yellow on the right and the purple on the left. And still, again, it goes together because they're the same kind of florals. I have the craft paper that ties them both together and the washi tape that ties them both together. Even though I did fight getting those 2 stickers to lay just right. That's all right. It works. There we go. Am I the only one that thinks trimming stickers is immensely satisfying? I don't know what it is, but I dig it. Okay, last layout. This is my brain dump. Ignore my handwriting. I think I was so tired at this point. It just goes right up the page. But it's a brain dump. It's okay. I'm dumping my brain right now. And I finally found a place for that pretty purple sticker that I tore off the beginning. So I am trying to pull in all of the colors that I use. I will also add something with a label maker before the final flip through to this page as well. I've got the warm florals and the grid tape and the craft paper, and then I'm going to outline it in that gorgeous blue again. This page I will come back to throughout the year. I'm always needing a place to write something down, and my planner is the safest place for me to write it down without losing it. I'm least likely to lose it here. So I think a brain dump will come in handy, and I'll probably also add them to each of my monthly spreads as well, because my brain's got a lot of stuff going on up there. I need a place to write it all down. And that is it, my friends. Now it is time for the flip through. The moment I have been waiting for this 20-minute voiceover. Whew, that was doozy. But I had a lot of fun with it. I am super excited to use this and actually start writing in it for the new year. Thank you guys for sticking around this long. If you enjoyed it or if you found something educational, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe so you can hang around and talk journal stuff with me. Bye, friends.